quality entries. They're diffusing themselves at the moment.
Yeah, Kingy, that's why, hence, Mundy's on Priddis. Priddis is not going to work that hard on him defensively. If he can get the ball running through the centre of the ground, he'll put it lace out.
Second quarter, Derby number 37. Cox and Griffin take up the battle once more. Fife and Priddis, both desperados when it comes to trying to win the footy. You have to be in a match like this.
And I have a look at the stats sheet. Mundy hasn't had a kick inside 50 yet, so he's getting them elsewhere or further out.
McCrae getting into the thick of the action. Hill tried to pounce. Kennedy made a promising start. He had Hams away. Instead decided to kick it. McFarlane was disappointed he had to let that bounce. No one can get the run of it yet. McFarlane's dived on it.
Oh, umpire put the whistle to the mouth.
He was about to pay, wasn't he? And
yeah, McFarlane
still there, wondering why not. Now it's holding the ball.
That was stiff.
It's an interesting interpretation when they say you're not making a genuine effort if you've got 2 or 3 blokes bear hugging you in a tackle. But Jack Darling gets the opportunity now, and he's only had the one possession. He's found it very tough in the first quarter on Luke McFarlane. It's an opportunity to kick a goal. Zach Dawson pleading his case.
It'll be a perfect counter to that goal just before the siren. Darling.
That'll come back a bit.
Yeah, but not enough.
He kicked it exactly where he ran.
Yeah, he did too. Dead straight. Let's have a look at it again quickly. Yeah, no, he's not making a great effort there.
No, he's not. You're right. But there were also, there's 3 blokes there. I wonder what the umpire expects.
Well, I guarantee if you said there's 10,000 if you can get rid of that ball.
Barlow to Bradley. No science in that kick. Schofield left it behind. Hearn. High ball. Marston knows it's coming over the top. Johnson couldn't clam onto it.
That sun plays a real part. Even Hearn, when he was kicking that, he looked upfield. He couldn't really see much, so he just kicked it as hard, high, and as long as he could down the boundary.
Fremantle with 1 extra back towards the goal square here, but did happen to go their West Coast way. It didn't, though. We heard the call. They all heard it too, and that meant they kept it going. Walters, Fife, uses the boundary line, dancing around. In the end, he gets out with help from Crowley. Good assistance provided.
He's gone across.
He had time to assess. He saw Mzungu, and Mzungu looks up, goes to Hill. Pavlich is the only man on the 50. He's on the brink of the 50. He left it behind. He doesn't quite look himself today, does he, Pav?
Now, that is
red hot.
One of those ones where he's gone for the shrug, Mackenzie, and the tackle's gone over the shoulder. The umpire let it go, but it was a different action.
I think that's one where, because he broke the earlier tackle, I say he had plenty of time to get rid of it, and he didn't get rid of it properly.
It was a pass to Bradley, and it almost got through.
It was a costly cough-up by Pavlich on the little 15-metre kick to him.
Did a great job on Luke Shuey last season, Ryan Crowley. He's kept him to just 3 possessions thus far.
Hearn, just a chip, 55 metres. For Glass, Fife. He's providing a real nuisance now. Pavlich can't get clear. Main. Shuey, he's found no room so far, Luke Shuey. And it's not unusual when Crowley's watching every move.
You mentioned Crowley, and same again. I went to a game last year where I wasn't working. I just watched him for about 60 minutes. Apply his craft. He's actually remarkably fair. He plays the ball on its merits. He plays his opponents on the merits.
You sound disappointed, Durn.
Well, a lot of people say, oh, he's a mongrel and he plays outside the rules. I guarantee for 60 minutes that I watched, didn't step outside the rules.
He does play hard and aggressive.
Yep.
He's good.
And a lot of people want to equate that to, well, he's half cheating as a run-with player, but he doesn't. He plays it within the rules. Full of praise for him.
Just at ground level down here, Hunter, looks like the West Coast Eagles are leaving the door ajar for Fremantle. They've kicked 3 goals, 6. They're marking the ball inside 50. They've scored 9 of the 11 entries that have gone in. This game really should be a 5 or 6 goal gap at this early stage.
Yeah, you're right, Kingy. And you don't dominate a game for 4 quarters. So at some stage, they'll get a run on Freo.
Oh, Barlow had a choice to get rid of that there.
He was saved by the fact that they turned him over.
Yep. Now it goes the other way.
Yeah, it does. So Barlow Pavlich has made his lead. Barlow was looking for it, and it came, and the kick was reasonable. But it's hard to mark them deep there with so much traffic around. Mzungu tried to outmaneuver them, couldn't. Comes back to Main. Walters straight onto the left and straight through. Now they're up and going.
I must say, I can't see Pav grabbing this game by the neck and just shaking it here.
He looks underdone, doesn't he?
He got a 2-3 metre lead on Mackenzie then, and over 15 metres, Mackenzie shut down that lead. He was able to get him in, so it just looked like he didn't have the zip in the off the mark. Notwithstanding that he got out to that break, but he was shut down there. And he, off balance when he went for that easy mark before.
There's their leading goal kicker in the Mab Cup. He kicked 22 from 10 last year, late in the season. His undoubted talent was on display at the important time of the year. Fremantle will be looking for Michael Walters to do more of that this afternoon. Shepherd, Shuey. Tiptoeing through was Darling. Gaff, Shepherd, good backing up, but he went to ground. Mundy there to pounce. Nothing to go to. Broke the tackle, and eventually there was something on offer for him. Main glances inside. Barlow's there for him at about 30 or 40 metres on, but he decides that degree of difficulty is too high. And instead it's Duffield on a slower approach. That was a bit of an adventurous kick. Johnson now with a little bit of real estate to work his way through, almost running to his teammate. Dawson. And that's why sometimes defenders should keep it simple. Lycett took an eternity and he is gone. So Fremantle starting to take the initiative now. De Boer from Subin into the 50 when it goes in swiftly. The small man love it. It can't be taken cleanly. Glass dispossessed. Here's Walters again. Here's Kepler Bradley. Centering ball to the top of the square. And it's Crowley popping up.
Well, that's where he can hurt you, Ryan Crowley, because he can kick a goal. He's very comfortable in the attacking 50.
We played a fair bit of his junior football.
Yep.
And he's
kicked 5 before in a game.
Yeah.
And nothing better than the player you're running with, turning him into a defender.
Well, he's going to do him above head.
And a little bit of correspondence from Kepler Bradley's #1 fan, Jared Healy's been involved in 2 of the Fremantle goals. If Crowley puts this one through, he sent it at that time, and Crowley makes no mistake. What a turnaround.
That's exactly what Kingy said before. If you don't take your chances, things happen. Now Ryan Crowley's sitting on the deck.
Have we got a free kick here?
Well,
is there a free kick coming back up here?
The umpire, did he determine that it was genuine contact or not?
Schofield yelling.
Ball's going back to the middle.
It was almost self-inflicted, wasn't it?
It was too, yeah. He goes to... Hey, he knew he was coming through the elbow back, but...
Ryan Crowley.
I'm glad that's not a free kick, because if you're going to initiate the contact and you inadvertently cop it high in doing so, you deserve that.
Yeah, much the same as ducking into tackles, Jason.
Fremantle lead by a point. What a transformation in this game. 5, been important. Walters trying to zip through. Hearn with other ideas. But he gets it on the boot. It travels. Suddenly they're inside 50. And Kennedy charging out. He looks like he's back at full fitness. Darling not finding a lot of room to move so far. Good stuff by Fremantle. Shutting them down. Duffield works his way back with Pearce. Griffin, the next link in the chain, and Hill. He's charging away.
Gee, that was good. I mean, most blokes in that situation where Hill was when he took that ball would throw it on the boot because they're under real heat. He's able to take the ball and sprint away. That's a late one.
That'll be 50.
And maybe a touch more. Maybe a touch more than just 50.
Well, it looked like he jumped in the air early, Pavlich, and if that's the case, it's then hard to dodge once your feet have left the deck. But it was late. Schofield, great courage backing back with it.
We talked about how he just seemed to be not quite right, didn't we, Matthew Pavlich? And timing can affect you in any number of ways, I guess. Schofield, ambitious kick into the pocket. And the big fella Darling couldn't get there. Duffield.
Look here.
Did well.
He turns his head away.
Certainly not vicious contact, was it?
No, but was it avoidable? That's the question.
Should have been off the ball with LeCras too. LeCras and Subin.
Things have just amped up a little bit here at Patterson Stadium.
Bounce the ball.
Throw it up quick.
Yeah, well done. That's the way to get rid of it.
Gee, I think there might have been some head contact
There was.
And he's seen it.
LeCras gets a shot at goal.
That's Stevic.
That's getting sucked in. And they're still going on.
Yeah, if you're going to do that, get value for money.
Hill and Spur going at it behind play.
Things might just erupt here at Patterson Stadium.
He's got Dermot up out of his seat.
He's excited, he's Dermot.
He wants to throw one over the top.
He wants to run through a huddle. LeCras from 50 metres out, supplying skills. Yeah, right through him, West Coast to back in front.
And he goes and bumps into Subin, and it's on again. This is Ballantyne now comes in, and he has to go up marks. And this is where you want your players to keep their cool.
Yeah.
Know where the boundaries are. Don't give away silly free kicks. Focus on the footy.
What if you came off the ground? Now, let's have a look for the hands high here. Oh, no.
I reckon it was a different angle. He might have seen a little jumper punch in there.
Yeah. What, can you come off the ground at the same time as your opponent and walk over to his dugout and do something? Surely that couldn't be a free kick.
Mark LeCras, still 26 years of age.
He's a gun.
47 goals in 2011. Of course, he moved up the ground. His possession rate went up to 16 per game. The year before, 63 goals. And then, of course, he was absent last year for the whole season with a knee injury. Shuey can't muscle his way out of there, but did keep the ball in motion. Crowley.
It's hot in the
Pearce,
kitchen,
it is. Hill, he's had an impact. To half forward, Hearn's been terrific on the way out for West Coast. Smith just played the 5 games last year, had an ankle injury.
Terrible kick.
De Boer has to start playing Hearn from side on at least, or within tackling distance. He's a metre or two behind, and Hearn's actually playing like the forward and leading to the footy.
That was just as bad coming back from Fremantle.
And now they're on.
And it's Hill of West Coast who kicks it up to Darling. Kennedy calling for it. He's in the pocket. You can see top right of screen now. It's a bit of a low ball. He'll come back to it, Kennedy.
Do you know what was a good kick, Hutto? Kennedy was calling it over the top of his opponent, and he didn't get it there. But what it did do was give him an unimpeded 5 or 7 metre run and jump at the ball before his opponent could get there to spoil. Yes, there was other traffic there, but he's the tallest bloke down in that forward line. And if he takes it at its highest point, very difficult to spoil.
So Josh Kennedy only managed 18 goals in 9 games last year. You can see the angle is 44 degrees. Shouldn't be a problem from the man on the mark. 20 metres out, and it's not an issue for Kennedy. It's a goal. West Coast have countered with 2 important ones.
I reckon a good kick doesn't always have to be where the teammate actually wants the ball, but it's where you put his opponent at a disadvantage. And that's exactly what it did with Johnson, who was trying to body him off the ball, and he just couldn't get there to spoil in the end. It's a very individually tailored run-up for a kick at goal, Josh Kennedy, but it works for him.
But the last 3 steps are fluent. It's true. Yeah, look at it. Last 3 are pure. Well, that is a ridiculous approach to goal, isn't it? But the last 3 steps, as I say, are pure. And when blokes can run into bowl a cricket ball, if your delivery, if your release stride is good, it ends up being all right.
We need a few of those in India, as Mundy kicks wide to half forward.
Need a bit more than that.
Yeah, and the ball was over and out.
I reckon Josh Kennedy might do better than some that are over there already. Can he play cricket, Josh? Get a game. And away he goes. Yeah, last 3 steps are nice. Good ball drop.
Fremantle back in attack. Pavlich decided he'd have a go at rucking. LeCras, Barlow. Quick kick, Shepherd. Kennedy disposed of. Shepherd goes again. Kennedy goes again. Selwood. And LeCras grits the teeth. And they try and motor out of there, but he turned it straight over to Dawson, who turned it straight back.
Oh, Dawson, good
not
throw.
Pretty. There's a throw, I reckon, and it's straight back. Fremantle's ball.
They've had 3 or 4 of those West Coast where they put pressure on Freo, got the turnover, but then given the free kick away for not disposing of it properly.
It's almost like they've held the ball too close to where they've taken it off Fremantle. That's a good one. Yeah, they've kept it too close in. They need to get it to the next line where there's a bit of space, and then they can try and do a few tricks.
He loves to find out exactly where the mark is. That's where he marks his run up from.
Well, here's another bloke who has just a good routine.
He goes back, half a dozen or so steps, makes another mark from the mark, which is where he wants to kick the ball from to give him clearance.
That's like Rodney Hogg used to have the 2 marks when he was running into bowling. The start mark, the acceleration mark. What's he doing with the second one, Jason?
The second, one's where the mark is, and the other's where he kicks it, so he doesn't get anywhere near the man on the mark.
Both kicked 2 goals, 1 for the quarter, and that's not going to add to the total. Dean Cox getting back on the line.
It was a 35 to 40 metre kick.
He's generally a sharp shooter too, isn't he?
Yeah.
It wasn't good contact at all off the boot.
Cox. That is a very high kick.
Gee, they're pressed up.
Should have favoured Griffin. He wasn't quite able to complete the job. You're right, Dern.
Now, if we can pull the camera back here, you can see Pavlich on the defensive side of the pack, and there we have Clancy Pearce just inside the square. Now Darling comes over, but when that ball came out, they were the players furthest away from the Dockers goal on the whole field.
Waters. Dawson went a couple of times and he got out now through Duffield. Things were improving as he went there, and he saw some good opportunities deep. Main couldn't gather. Priddis showed them how to do it. To Selwood back to Priddis as they accumulated half back the Eagles. Cripps knew there was plenty of company there, and Spur shuts him down on the ball over and out.
Mundy's up to his 7th touch for this quarter, still only operating at 57%, so 4 of those have hit the target. Even that one then won't register when he came inside 50 with that.
Priddis involved again as West Coast get the half forward. Darling, he saw Hams, he's already got 2, and he's got Hill bolting to the goal square. Unfortunately for Josh Hill, and it's taken Hams quite a bit of time, and
didn't look at all.
Not at all. Bit of a chaos kick into the 50, and that's high contact. They're going to end up with a shot for goal after all.
Gee, that wasn't the kick they were looking for from Ashton Hams going forward, but it's worked out all right. One thing we do know is that Scott Selwood will always put his head over the footy, and he's just following the ball in here as he cops one from Luke McFarlane.
Kingy Pav comes off. Anything to report with him downstairs, or is he just blowing hard?
Just blowing hard, needs a break, the captain, and they need a big effort from him because their forward line at the moment is almost dysfunctional, not managing to mark the ball in there as regularly as they'd like.
Never been a big goal kicker, Scott Selwood. Became a real accumulator of the ball last year.
Good strike. Bad luck.
Misses to the left. And West Coast have missed a couple, haven't they? Really could have just about had this game done and dusted at times.
Is there a case to say, right, you know what, let's leave Pav off for a while and we just stay in the game, and then when the fitness of the other guys comes back to him, we put him on at the 10-12 minute mark of the 3rd quarter?
You can't afford to do that.
I know you've got to rotate, but gee, he's their one weapon who can take it home in the last 45 minutes.
Hearn blasts away. Hill, the most likely to mark it. Pearce, Clancy Pearce now, has he hatched it? West Coast appealing for it. Umpire let them play a bit longer. Johnson to 5. Again, it's a bit of a mongrel of a kick on the way out. Ash Smith took the advantage on Main. Had a glance inside. Adam Selwood, there's hands up everywhere calling for it. Ignore them and just blast it to the top of the square.
Oh, kill.
And they all went up. 3 of the Fremantle players collected each other, but they got the ball important.
Great, he just killed the footy then, Big Griffin.
They need an influence here from Dean Cox. Just the one disposal in this quarter. He's the one who needs to orchestrate a goal here.
Well, he nearly did. 5.
Handed it.
Yeah, he did.
How's that for a barrel?
What a beautiful kick. Just sucked up a bit of time to try.
The ball is running hard.
He is charging the ball. Can he get there before Schofield?
He'll hold it in.
He needs to hold it in. That's what he has to do for Fremantle. It'll be a massive win for them if he does. Be even better if he got a hold in the ball.
He's crouching.
That's a West Coast.
Unlucky. Gee, worked hard. He covered so much ground. Gave them all a 20-metre head start. Back to Will Schofield. No, that's going to go back beyond the mark.
I'll tell you what, if Will Schofield tries to play on around him, De Boer won't be able to chase him.
I think Schofield covered a lot of ground too, because he was knackered trying to get back there.
Technical term, is it, Jason?
Yeah.
Selwood takes the mark. Half back. William Selwood settling down. Just taking the pace out for a moment. Now we're back to full throttle to half forward. Cleaned up everyone, and everyone cleaned themselves up. Kennedy the first to his feet. Unnecessary rush.
Oh, well trapped.
Spur. But Griffin needs to take it, or at least move it to a teammate. He has Walters there, but he wanders through centre half back. Shows great dexterity for a big man. You don't mind on the chest of Main. De Boer. They should be able to work their way through this. He can run himself. Instead, he passes. And well done from Glass.
Oh, he is the best.
And he's the maestro back there. That could be holding the ball. Don't play on this time.
He hasn't recovered, Schofield. He's had 4 or 5 efforts in a quick amount of time. I know he's a terrific aerobic capacity, but he was just slow on his feet. Darren Glass saved what looked like a certain goal to Matty Pavlich. He's playing another blind as the captain for West Coast.
Just lacked awareness. And Daniel Pearce, if he was playing on running through here, you'd back him. Set shot. 50-50, even though he's only going to be kicking from 38, 40 metres.
Average is about half a goal a game in his 154-game career, and that is not even going to score.
Shake of the head.
West Coast have had 12 scoring shots to 5.
For a bloke like him, he should just go back an extra 3 or 4, sprint for the first 5 and simulate the play-on mode.
Spur over the top, but it's out of bounds.
What he did do with that set shot is he's leaning back and not really driving through the ball when he kicks it. So as you say, pretend you're running in a game because all your weight's going through the ball and you kick through it. You're not going to have that same problem coming off the ball.
It's going to hit Mundy in the head here.
Cox clambering for it. Pritis, his 9th disposal of the wing. Lysette almost. Bit of disorientation amongst the players there. Kennedy, geez, look good today. Oh, so, I mean, that. Gaff. Shane McInerney's footy. 5 minutes or just under remaining in the second quarter. West Coast with 5 goals, 7. Fremantle with 4-1. Another low-scoring affair. Lots of tactics on display. Pritis, he's a master at that. Help from Cox, of course, to get there to half forward. Darling had spent a lot of energy to get there. Hams. Lots of Freo jumpers back there. McFarlane heard the call nice and early.
Geez, fumbled a bit, Clancy Pearce.
Pritis just moseyed his way through. Oh, Lacrosse straight back into the Pritis again. He's had about 5 touches in the last 90 seconds, Pritis. He might get it again, yeah.
No, and he's back.
Oh, boy, this one's going to hurt against Zach Dawson. Now, Josh Kennedy's having a big impact out there. He's had 12 possessions, 10 of them contested. He's taken 5 marks, kicked a goal. This should be number 2.
Well, I'll tell you what, though. If you look where the problem is, 6 possessions to Clancy Pearce. Now, he goes at 83% this game for those 6 possessions with his disposals. But for me already, he's had 3 fumbles when he's had clean hands on the footy and just coughed it up. Now, that ball's not down there if he takes that in one go.
Watch him again. Kennedy on the approach. Skip, steady, and deliver. Deliver an 18-point lead to West Coast.
It's only 20 to 19, the inside 50s. In fact, it's 1 in favour of Fremantle, so it shows you the difference in quality of the ball going forward. The fact that West Coast's been able to...
And Zach's...
Oh, that's just...
it's stiff.
And no finesse whatsoever.
No.
Just ridden him into the ground. Put a saddle on him.
Oh. And then look at the left hip. It actually points at the toe. It's not a bad action to strike.
Well, quite a few people had West Coast either first or second on their ladders. They'll be quite comfortable with what they've seen so far this afternoon, but it's not even half time yet.
Plenty still to be played out, I reckon.
Oh, yeah. 18 points the margin. Fremantle wouldn't want to let another one slip, though. Pearce to half forward. This is more promising for them. Ballantyne, they've got to get him involved. Not great awareness. Marston was closing. Tough again for Pavlich. 1-on-1. He almost found a way. Did the Pav. Often when he's been deep, he's had Glass on him. That time he had McKenzie on him.
I think one thing they could look at, Anthony, as you just see that contest here with Matty Pavlich nearly making something out of nothing, is maybe a fraction more speed in their forward 50. Maybe Pearce or Hill just resting at full forward for a moment.
Griffin working tirelessly. Pearce darting. wobbling the kick forward, and he was the first to work it out. De Boer in the air, but couldn't do anything with it. Didn't come in very nicely, but it was there. Nonetheless, 3.5 minutes remaining. There's Shannon Hearn, 8 kicks, no handballs. They all jump, but no one really got a piece of it. Fife, just for a moment, he thought he was going to be able to move his way into some space.
Now this is where, in this situation now, is where the new rule, the fall in the back rule, really comes into play. You've got to get first hands on it, really rush forward and draw in the back.
Marston, the smother from Stephen Hill, is trying his guts out there. Gets it over the line and out of bounds. Gets applauded from the crowd, certainly from his teammates. He's had 12 disposals, Stephen Hill, 4 inside 50s. If you knew that stat, you'd really think that Fremantle would be playing better than they are. He needs some more mates around him. Ballantyne couldn't forge a path. Lacroix, Subin versus Cripps. He's got McFarlane with him, who needs to help out one way or the other. Subin did it on his own in the end and guides the ball for Fife.
Must make this kick count.
He rolls it up. Pav, smart play, but the ball won't do what he asked it to. Could have looked foolish if the opponent had McKenzie had taken the mark, but he knew what he was doing, Pavlich. So Hearn has the job at fullback.
See how close De Boer is to the goal line here, because he knows Hearn wants a tap on the boot and a play on. That's as close as you can get.
Yeah, kicked it to either Cox or Lysette.
Well, it's Pearce Clancy that was able to slip in.
Yeah, this way can kick it.
He's got the long option. Crowley coming in with a run now. He won't fly because he doesn't get there in time. He's still around. Hearn just fashions the kick out of there. Mzungu. Here's Josh Hill. Taking no chances. Predis was on his wrong side, so hemmed in against the line. Found life difficult. Gaff to Shepherd. Hams gets involved. Lets the traffic flow past. Around the corner. Josh Hill, if it goes one way, Shepherd the other. Shepherd thumped. McFarlane has to release by hand. Does. Hill up, bouncing and running again. Barlow, centre half forward. He's got De Boer. Careful kick was good. They run back towards the goals. Bradley's away to his left. Instead, he goes for Pavlich. Sun's still a factor. Went to ground. He got up quickly.
He got tackled before he had a chance.
Umpire put the whistle to the mouth and then took it away.
Waves that one on. Ash Smith around the corner off the left. Clever kick because Lacroix can help it out if he wants to. He didn't want to. Kept it in. And it's going to be Freo's ball. Subin. Low ball in from Pearce. Good stuff. Starting to build now.
Big Griffin's on. He hasn't seen him.
He's got Mzungu instead. It's been very quiet, just the 4 disposals.
Well, we saw the main kick from roughly the same distance, but closer to the boundary line, didn't make it. So, King, is that little breeze, that zephyr that was going to that left-hand side of screen, is that eased up or is it still there? Will
maybe
he make
fractionally,
it?
Maybe fractionally, Doom. He should get the distance. I think the sun's been more of a problem. The stand has got in the way now, so the players can actually see the ball coming in.
So Mzungu comes in, kicks from further out than he needed to. Could have got closer. Doesn't get the result he was after.
Inside 50s, Fremantle 26, West Coast Eagles 19. And in this second quarter, 9-13 in favour of Fremantle.
The last 5 minutes they've had plenty, but it hasn't amounted to anything, really. Subin's been pretty good for them. Let's see what he can conjure this time.
Walter's got the long run at it.
And he can go in the air. He made a good contest of it. They fight amongst themselves, the Freo players. De Boer, he's on his wrong side. Walters knew he had to get back. It just took a bit longer than he would have liked, but there's still every chance. Again, they get in each other's road. Oh, Daniel Pearce! And isn't he excited?
Gee, I thought they'd blown it. They somehow got 2 players forward of the contest. There was one West Coast defender in the square on his opponent. Then you had Pearce as one of 2 players forward. I think Main was the other. And they just spoiled each other. But he was good enough to recover and kick the goal. It would have been a tragedy if they didn't get a goal out of that.
Well, they've done it again. They've kicked the goal just before the break.
Great
First goal, of course, for Pearce in the Freo colours. So we're down to 17 seconds. Is there time for another? For the former Mab Rising star. And Fremantle, you wouldn't think so now, with the clock winding down to just 10 seconds.
Big quarter, big second quarter for Josh Kennedy. He's racked up 9 possessions. Pritis has had 8, and Mundy, well, he got to 7 fairly quickly, but he stayed there for the last 10 minutes.
In the end, they've won the quarter, Fremantle. 3 goals 4 to 3 goals 2. And the margin is back to 9. And that's how it'll be at half-time.
They're going to have to find some avenues to goal, Fremantle.
Yeah.
Main's going to have to stand up. It looks like Pav's just off the bit a little bit. And
But he was
if he gets a couple...
better later in that quarter, Dern.
He was, but if he gets a couple in the second half, it's a bonus.
Let's hear from the man himself.
Matthew, it's a real tough battle going on here. What will be your message as captain to this troops at half-time?
Oh, look, I thought the second half of that quarter we really put some forward pressure on. We got the ball inside 50 a bit more than we had, and yeah, look, we knew it was going to be a fierce contest. They're a terrific outfit, and the message would be grind away, and we'll wait there until then.
What's the component you need to correct?
Oh, look, I think our ball movement, they're doing really well to hold it inside there, forward 50. So if we can take some calculated risk and get it moving, plus the contested ball, I think they're a very good contested ball team. So.
Good luck.
Thanks, Kingy and Matthew Pavlich and Fremantle. 9 points now behind the West Coast Eagles. What a derby we've got for you. Stay with us. It's the Eagles by 9.